between our number 1 and number 4 seeds. It looks like we got a little bit of cropping left to do on Cindy's part of the stream, and then we should be good to go. So yeah. Let me do a quick rundown. This is the semifinals of the RBO tournament. So far in the final 4, we have these two gentlemen here, and then myself, and we are waiting for the winner between Gameaholic and Ponk, or maybe not the game, but the match, because it's best 2 out of 3. So whoever wins between Gameaholic and Ponk will be in the semifinals as well versus me at some point, probably next week. So I just want to welcome everybody. I'm glad you guys are excited to be here, and I'm going to be trying to provide some decent commentary for you. There's a lot to talk about with RBO. There's a lot of difference between, in particular, there's probably the biggest difference between RBO in terms of how you pursue a PB versus how you do a race than any other category. So I don't expect to see, the same types of things we would see in a normal situation for a PB attempt where you take a lot of risk, because this is a very risky category. But at the same time, both of these runners are so good, I don't expect to see just massive amounts of safeties. I think we'll have a very competitive and interesting lower North Air situation when we get there. So looks like we hopefully we'll be able to sync up these streams here in a little bit. If not, then Sloaters will be running roughly, looks like, about 17 seconds ahead of Zinni. But either way, it should be okay. How's everybody doing this evening as we watch some Ceres? I'm doing pretty well myself. Thank you for asking. And yeah, anybody got any cool weekend plans out there? What's up, Claire? We got Shiny Zinni and Sloaters in the chat. Blazing Alabama. War Drinker. Clairvoyant dropping the awesome Sloaters emote there. Galloping Conch. Auto Shy Smokey. Benergetic. Souza. Nintoaster. We got a whole bunch of people. Hadoukens here. A lot of people. Sorry if I missed your name, but got a lot of cool folks here watching this match. I do want to impress upon you, for real, how cool this is. RBO is a very, very fun category. Like, it's brutal, but it's also very fun and challenging. You don't get treated to very many races of it. And so this tournament has been really awesome in watching, people compete in this, category, which is very dangerous. And Sloaters and Shiny Zinni, you're pretty much not going to find a more exciting combo of runners to race this category. So sit back, relax on your Friday night and enjoy the show. I'm going to try to provide some insight, but for the most part, I'm just going to fan out like y'all and just enjoy watching this race. So the first thing that you would potentially see in terms of routing divergence would be it is possible for Shiny Zinni to go for the ceiling tank in Retro Brinstar up here right at the beginning of the game. That's what he does in his world record attempts. I don't recall if he's been going for it in his races. I'm a bit skeptical, but at the same time, you just never know with Zinni. So, okay, it looks like he is going to go for it. So let's see how many times. I have no doubt that he'll get it. I just don't, it's very hard. I've tried to do it myself, and it was, well, basically for me, it was impossible. Let's see how many tries it takes him to get it. It wouldn't shock me if he got it fairly quickly. In the meantime, we got Sloaters over here going for the climb. Notice that he does, oh, there it is, second try on the taco. Is it called the taco tank? I'll be honest with you, I don't even know why people call it that, but anyway, I'm down for it though because tacos are delicious. So Sloaters is heading to grab bombs. And even without Moonfall, rocking the 448 bombs time. Very nice, Sloaters. It's called, apparently, according to Canadian Now, it's called the taco tank because tacos are delicious. So that's good to know. In the meantime, Shiny Zenny doing his climb. Also a traditional wall climber here. And Sloaters cleaning up BT without issue. Looks like we're still about 17 seconds off on the stream. And it's probably going to be like that, I would assume, for the rest of the time. Although that's not really that big of a deal. They're going to take different routes anyway. It's going to be kind of hard to compare apples to apples exactly where they are. So we'll have a better understanding once they get to Lower Norfair. And even then, you know, a lot of RBO just kind of comes down to if, you know, how many safeties people add in and then if they die or not. So we'll see. Yo, what up, Peach? That's right, tacos. I know Peach likes tacos. These tacos are delicious. What's up, Cheaty? And so Sloaters is now heading down, as you can see. One of the small things to keep in mind is that you're trying to protect your health as much as possible at the beginning of these runs, typically. So you'll see a quote-unquote new route start, if you will, by killing the pirates. What Sloaters is going to probably do, everybody does it a little bit differently. I think Sloaters does not do late Crocomire, so my assumption, oh, looks like we're about to get some sync. Let's go. Oh, never mind. That's just never mind. I got excited at what was lag. I thought it was going to be an actual way to sync up the runs there. But anyway, I believe, if I recall correctly, that Sloaters does late Crocomire, or excuse me, early Crocomire for this route. And so I don't believe he's going to head to Red Tower power bombs at the beginning. So he's probably going to refill his health and fill up his reserve tank that he just grabbed here right after the Meridia tube. And he'll do that in preparation for his first hell run. So it looks like he's going to be skipping a lot of these missile packs. I think he recently updated his Ridley fight to include Spacer Beam and Charge Shot, so I assume that's what he's going to do here. In the meantime, Zenny already has enough missiles to go straight into here to grab this reserve tank, and then he'll grab the the early super missiles once he exits. So he won't actually be going for the reverse mock ball. So Sloaters got to charge at like roughly 758. It's not, you can't really compare to what Zenny has because Zenny already has an extra pack of missiles and also that extra energy tank that Sloaters is going to get later. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly by how much they're ahead or behind. But Sloaters getting the, I actually really like that strat. I've always liked that strat. Getting the nice D-boost there to run straight through the hoppers after the gate. And now going over New Bridge, going to grab another super pack. And as you can see, he already mock-balled, so we know for sure he is going down. So what we're going to see from Sloaters, I believe, is he's going to stop and pick up the Spacer Beam. And then afterwards, he is going to jump up into the ceiling after the tube. And basically up there is where you would exit from Meridian. And he is going to use the green bugs there to farm until he gets to either full or somewhere close to full on his reserve tank. which I think most people know how it works, just in case we have some people who are not as familiar with the mechanics. By the way, in the meantime, Shiny Zinni, as you can see, jumped through the door. He's going to head up Red Tower and grab the Alpha Power Bombs. That's going to allow him to have Power Bombs to clean up Brinstar. So he's going to essentially, with the way he's doing it, he's going to end up running a late Crocomire. But anyway, the way it works is where you see Sloaters right now, he's going to be killing these bugs. You know, you can't fill up your reserve until you are at full energy in your normal energy tanks. It's pretty, straightforward. But basically he just got a bunch of health in that reserve tank. Right now he only has one. It can hold 100 health. And what he's going to do on his first hell run is basically pause in the Rising Tide room and refill, or I guess fill up as much as he can from the reserve tank to survive that initial hell run, to be able to get up to farm the bugs before speed boosters. So that reserve and having that extra energy is very important. One small thing to consider that's a little bit different than PB attempts is if he wants to, he doesn't have to, but if Sloaters wants to, he does have the opportunity to farm a few of those Sovas after he exits the high jump boot room. And the reason I say that is because he can farm a few of those Sovas, then go into the save room, save his game, because I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody who doesn't save their game in a race scenario prior to the first hell run. He can save his game and then go back out, and those Sovas will be there again, which will allow him to farm them if he feels like he's not quite full on energy or whatever. So let's see how it goes. I'm almost 100% certain he's going to save his game right here. Looks like we got a little bit of a freeze here, so I don't know if we're going to be able to tell. Oh, there's the save. And now Zinni, as you can see, I don't think Zinni's going to worry as much about filling up his reserve tank, because he has the extra energy tank. When he collects the high jump boot tank, it's going to refill all of them. And so essentially what that means is he's going to have the same amount of effective health as Sloaters. He just won't have it in reserve form. And actually, if he kills some Sovas along the way, he might can actually get a little bit to put in that reserve tank. So here we see Sloaters manually filling up, which is a great call in my opinion. For those of you that might be slightly unaware, the game continues to take your health away even as the reserve tank kicks in. If you have it on auto and it kicks in, the game will continue to run. So by the time you fill with all 100 of that energy, you actually only end up getting about maybe 70, 75 of it or so, maybe 80. So you lose about 20% or more of it. So if you're worried about the amount that you're going to get, it's better to manually refill it. The bug's trolling Sloaters a little bit, but it looks like he's in good shape now. At this point, they should drop only health because he's full on missiles and supers. And now Zinni is starting his hell run here. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't see if Zinni saved. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't because of how experienced he is, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little bit safer to always save before the first hell run. But if he did not save, hopefully he does not run into any issues. Because I'll be honest with you, if he did die for some reason right here, it would almost certainly be like a complete loss. Because Sloaters would then realize that he was about 10 minutes ahead and he could like play it ultra safe and still complete the run. So, but no, it looks like Zinni's going to be fine here. Sloaters, in the meantime, is he just lost his echoes because of the way the game. It's hard to explain, but the way the sounds interact with the echoes, you actually can lose those echoes when you're in heated rooms. But he made it back to the farm room with no issue, so he's going to farm up to full here. He wants to have full in his reserve as well. And now he's got to make one of the more dangerous parts of this run. He's going to run to Wave Beam. I love the idea of him going and picking up the 20 extra health from the Cack Attack there. I like that call a lot. He can't afford to get hit really at all during this part of the run, and doesn't need to make any mistakes. I also expect that he will most likely pause after picking up Wave Beam and fully fill up, or I guess discharge all 100 of the energy that's in his reserve. He might not. You don't have to, but it's a little bit safer. And I think it's a much better thing to do to give yourself a little bit of leeway. Yeah, so there we go. He's doing it right now. I think that's a great call. Zinni, on the other hand, is refilling the appropriate amount for him to go get wave as well. So one thing you're going to see that's going to be different is Sloaters here, after he gets out of this room, he's going to go directly to Crocomire. Oh man, that was so close. I'm glad Sloaters didn't get hit there. He's going to go straight to Crocomire, clean up Crocomire, get his first pack of power bombs, and then get the grapple beam before he goes to clean up Brinstar. Zinni, on the other hand, is going to skip Crocomire and go immediately to clean up Brinstar before he will return later, pick up the Ice Beam, take the Croc Speedway to Croc, and then do grapple directly before Lower Warfare. So we're about to see some pretty major route divergence here. The one good thing, though, is that both runners will basically have the opportunity to collect the same amount of items. To try to sum it up, everything about RBO, it's about the energy tanks a little bit, but really almost everything that you do and what route you decide to run revolves almost completely around the number of super missiles you want to have before you fight Ridley. Since these guys they're both doing a double Norfair route, even though they have routing difference, as you can see, because Zinni's leaving Norfair right now, they're both doing double Norfair, and double Norfair means 25 supers prior to Ridley. That means that you have, basically, let me try to do the math for you real quick. It would take 30 supers to kill Ridley without anything extra, and each super does 600 damage. So, if you have 5 less supers than you would need to kill Ridley, that's 6,000. That's 3,000 damage that you need to do in this particular route. It's 6,000 when you do single Norfair. So anyway, they got to make up 3,000 damage on Ridley besides the super missiles, and so they have to figure out, do I want to do X factors? Do I want to use regular missiles? Do I want to do charge shots? So anyway, that's the basic premise. Everything in this run kind of revolves around your Ridley fight. Now, this is a really pivotal moment. Let's find out if Zinni is going to choose to add a safety into his run. The only real safety he has left that he could do is grabbing this waterway tank, but he is not getting it. Now, I just want to explain to everybody, I don't really find that to be a bad move for Zinni, because as I've mentioned before, and there's no disrespect to anybody else, but he is, without question, objectively the best RBO runner in this tournament by a long shot, and he has way more experience than anybody else. With that said, though, he still doesn't have a ton of leeway if he's going to fight Ridley with 1 reserve tank and 6 energy tanks prior to Lower Norfair. By the time he gets to Ridley, he'd have 7. But that's a very tight Ridley fight, okay? Now, he's done it and succeeded a million times, but it is going to be still a situation where if he makes a major mistake, it could cost him. So, Sloaters, I don't think we're going to see Sloaters do that. I think we're going to see Sloaters get the waterway tank. I know I would, personally, in a race scenario. I mean, heck, I got it in a race scenario one time, and I still died to Ridley 6 times. I don't know if any of you guys were around for that, but good times, huh? Let's just say I didn't win that one. So yeah, it all comes down to the amount of safety and how well you believe you execute Lower Norfair in addition to Ridley, because it is very possible to die in Lower Norfair before you get there. All right, so Zenny picking up this energy tank here. We'll see if he decides to route in the Edakun power bombs. I'm a little skeptical. I kind of feel like he's probably going to run 15, 15, 15 prior to Lower Norfair, unless I'm misremembering or miscounting. But yeah, there we go. He's skipping the Edakun power bombs. Let's see what happens. He's going to be heading up now to get the, I believe, the only item left in Criteria that he's going to pick up. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I believe this super pack is the last item in Criteria that he will be picking up. I can't think of anything else that's going to be routed in. That's a Criteria item. In the meantime, Sloaters is about to start his Brinstar cleanup. I think this is a section of the run that he excels at, not only because Sloaters is very good, but Sloaters is, without question, the best 100% item collection runner in this tournament as of right now. He has a PB that is far and away better than anybody else in this tournament in that category, and he's done a million Brinstar cleanups. So I think you're going to see him be really clean on a lot of this execution. You know, even though 100% is not RBO, there's a lot of crossover between categories, and there's a lot of ways for you to implement things you already know in different areas. All right, so let's see what happens here. Zenny going for the pretty difficult maneuver there to get to the supers, but he did a great job. Meantime, Sloaters did not have to do any kind of weird approach to get that energy tank. He just has the high jump boots, and well, he just pressed the jump button. Clearly another example of how high jump boots is, without question, the best item in the game. Zenny just barely missing the short charge there. I like the attempt. This room that he's going through, the old Mother Brain room, the pit room, that room is really super awkward with high jump boots and speed booster. Also, I'm probably about to get just Sloaters. Probably about to get just a touch louder because I moved the microphone, so sorry if I blew anybody's ears out. There we go. Yeah, pressing the jump button is an advanced maneuver. I mean, if you really think about it, that's what the whole game is based on, right? So, I'm not memeing when I say that I feel like controlling your jump height is actually an underrated way to save a lot of time in this game. But I'll just let y'all chew on that. Zenny getting the most important strat Blockbuster. I'm ready to rent a video game. It's Friday night. Let's go to Blockbuster Video. In the meantime, we now see that Zenny is clearly ahead. He is entering the elevator right. Well, actually, he is ahead. I can just tell you that straight up because I understand how these kind of routes go together in a way, but like it'd be hard for me to explain. So Zenny's definitely ahead, but it's not an apples to apples comparison yet, because even though he just re-entered Norfair, he has to go kill Crocomire and get the grapple beam and whatnot. So you still can't with 100% certainty say who's ahead or who is not, or by how much. But Zenny's definitely ahead right now. We'll see how that continues to hold up over the rest of this run. I am under the impression that Sloaters is going to go down here and get the Edakun power bomb, and I also think he's going to get the waterway tank. So we're talking an extra maybe minute and a half or so, roughly, maybe a little less, of extra routing. but a good bit of extra safety and just a lot more comfort for Sloaters, which I would do the same thing. So we got the Ice Beam pickup for Zenny. He's kind of in a weird spot here with his health, to be honest with you. This is actually not super hot. It wouldn't surprise me if he turned around and farmed. Okay, never mind. I think he'll be okay, probably, but this is a little monk ass. He needs to maintain that blue suit echoes. Okay, he's fine. But he still doesn't have enough health. He needs to, I guess he's going to need to use his reserves. He does not, to my knowledge, have enough health to jump through the acid unless he's like perfect. So unless he's got a good chunk of health in that reserve tank right now, he might have to wait to pick up that energy tank, which is pretty slow. But Sloaters over here doing the Mission Impossible power bombs, but notice he did not run the Mission Impossible strat. Okay, now that's very bad for Zenny. Getting popped by that thing is really bad. He lost half of his health. But you'll notice that Sloaters did not do the Mission Impossible strat. Okay, 60. Yeah, that's enough. He's got plenty of health. Zenny's got plenty of health, assuming he doesn't mess up. Okay, so he's fine. But yeah, notice that the Sloaters did not actually do the Mission Impossible strat. That's because it is actually slower in this category than doing the normal strat. Why did just out of curiosity, why was there a deleted message in chat? Was it really bad? Did I miss some kind of drama in the chat, unfortunately? Ah, I got you. All right, so Zenny now heading over to grab his potentially final power bomb, but when you run 15 power bombs, depending on the kind of drops you get and whatnot, there's always a chance that you have to pick up the power bombs of shame on the way out of Lower Norfair to get your Crystal Flash in. So it might not end up being the final one, but here we see Sloaters going down to pick up Waterway. Not surprised at all. I always find this room to be kind of interesting when you don't have Gravity Suit. You know, you're supposed to have Gravity Suit, run through the water, and then, you know, break the blocks. But here, you don't have it. I love that bounce ball. That was cool. So he's going to run over here, jump up on this ledge, do a short charge, and then finally do his Shine Spark in the water here. Sloaters. Guys, you know, there are going to be a lot of people in the chat that get upset with me about this, but let me just explain something to y'all, okay? Y'all really should never try to Shine Spark in the air when jumping off that ledge. Just land in the water and press the jump button and the left button. It's not hard, okay? I have seen more people fail it than get it. But hey, what do I know? Okay. So notice that Zenny is taking a save here. Very smart decision. He's saving before the lava dive. The lava dive in and of itself is actually like, and I'm being objective here. This isn't some kind of posturing, okay? I don't want anybody to think that I'm like trying to be elitist with my talk. But once you get accustomed to a lot of the strats in this game, and particularly this run, the lava dive is actually, from sort of a input point of view, not one of the most demanding sections. It's not really that hard. However, that doesn't mean you can't mess up. Anybody in the world can mess up in like even an easy strat, okay? So the reason it's such a good idea to save there is because if you just accidentally just make a small mistake, you're dead, right? So it's not that hard, but if you accidentally mess up, you die. So I really like the idea of him saving there. And I think Zenny typically does not pause to refill. He might this time, though, because he got trapped a little bit out there. Let's find out. No, I think he feels confident about it. So let's see if he can get up there. His reserve's going to kick in before he makes the wall jump here. He's gonna be and he's got it. He should have plenty of leeway here. Very nice. All right, so let's get ready for some lower Norfair action, shall we? Okay, so we now have Shiny Zenny in lower Norfair. Now the difference between the two runners is more apparent. Sloaters still has a good piece to go before he gets down there. Zenny was able to get the green gate glitch on the second try, but one problem with that, if you'll notice, that Ripper survived. He didn't have time to get into position to kill all 6 Rippers on that one particular entry. I can sit here and talk all day. The amount of things that you have to get in an incredibly tight window are very, very there's a long list. If you really wanna, like, run a really good time in lower Norfair, you essentially gotta get almost every trick first try. So, the fact that he didn't get it first try means he now has a few less supers, but it's not really a big deal in this particular route because he's only gonna end up shooting 20 supers at Golden Chorizo anyway. If you guys wanna count, what Zenny's gonna essentially try to do is hit, GT with he's gonna shoot 20 supers, but only 16 of them are gonna hit because only 4 out of 5 hit. The first one of each volley gets caught, but he's gonna try to shoot 20 supers and then 13 charge shots. So there's charge shot number 1, 2, 3, and now he's gonna unload the 20 supers, and then he should shoot 9 more charge shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see this one, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now he's gonna farm. So now Shiny Zenny is 1 shot away from killing GT. So he killed some of the eggs, then got the final shot in, and then killed the eggs that were being shot. So anyway, it's just an advanced form of farming. Hope you enjoyed my math lesson. Sloaters, on the other hand, was getting ready to go into lower Norfair, but I assume looked like something bad happened, maybe in the pre-grapple room. I'll go ahead and tell you that room is terrible. But yeah, I didn't quite see what happened to Sloaters. I just know he died, unfortunately. So now Zenny, if you look at Zenny's screen, it's not the most crazy demanding section in the run, but it's pretty tough. And the main thing is you just don't have any leeway to really make any major errors. So Zenny's going to need to play really well here and get all the way to Firefleet E-Tank. He's running on essentially the lowest amount of energy tanks you can have in an RBO run if you're going for speed. Like that jump right there, it probably won't cost him because his movement is so crisp. Yeah, he's fine. His movement is so crisp that it probably won't cost him. But somebody like me, that missed jump might be the death of the run, so, or at least the death of the reserve tank. So anyway, Sloaters now back in the grapple room. This is actually legitimately the worst room in lower in RBO. That grapple room is absolutely god awful. Zenny made it over to Firefleet without any issue. Sloaters, looks like Sloaters are doing some kind of jump. That is faster. It eats up less health, but I think that move is a little risky because you're adding in more variance to your run. But you know, Sloaters is good enough to pull it off with some level of consistency. So, who am I to question, right? So anyway, Sloaters is in good shape. He's going to save before going to lower Norfair. And now Zenny is, I assume, going to save before Ridley. I assume he'll kill and collect the drops from these 2 key hunters before he will save his game. And now we get to watch the most Monka-esque part of the run. So we're going to do a quick experiment. You guys ready? Sometimes I think commentary stopping talking during tense moments is actually more entertaining and tense. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy a little sounds of Super Metroid as Shiny Zenny gets ready for the toughest fight. And let's see if he gets through it. Enjoy. Okay, so let me explain something. Ridley did not behave exactly as Zinni would have wanted, but given the fact that Ridley did some weird things and Zinni missed a few supers, that was actually a pretty masterful fight. So the fact that Zinni even survived is pretty impressive. However, he's in a bit of a bind here. He's okay, but he needs 11. He actually needs 12 supers minimum to get out of here. So he's going to be forced to pick up the power bombs of shame. On top of that, he has very low super count. Now, he needs a regular missile too, but it's pretty likely he's going to get one in this room. And if he doesn't get one in this room, he should still be able to have a shot at getting some in the pre-fire or in the Firefly room. But he's really hoping that, one of these Holtz. There it is. Oh my God, he just got so lucky. He got a regular missile drop from a creature that is like one of the less likely ones to give it to him. But now he's got to do the killing of the metal pirates in here, but he's fine. So yeah, he's in actually really good shape now. Assuming that he can get up here and get the power bombs of shame without getting hit, he should be fine. That'll put him at oh, he just hit the spikes. That's 80 damage, and I don't know. Okay. I don't know why. I guess he messed up on that first strat. He wasn't supposed to drop 2 power bombs there. So now he literally only has enough, and he's not going to be able to make it to Firefly before those things run out. So He's just gonna need to be careful. I think what we're gonna see him do is essentially use regular bombs up here, and then as soon as he gets out, or he might even do it down here, to be honest with you. As soon as he gets out, yeah, he's gonna have to do it down here. Yeah, he's gonna have to Crystal Flash right here. He's fine. He can Crystal Flash here. The blocks will come back, but you can still turn into a ball, and you can still bomb him. Oh, well, he actually was high enough to where it didn't matter, but you can get trapped in those blocks, but you can still bomb yourself out, so it's all good. All right, so he has made it past Ridley, and he's alive. That is a huge advantage. He is multiple minutes ahead of Sloaters and past, without question, the biggest sort of, well, I guess what's the term I'm looking for? Is the biggest sort of roadblock, if you will, in the run. So, unless some absolute catastrophe happens, Zenny should be in a pretty commanding position here. Not to mention the fact that Sloaters is yet to fight Ridley, so we don't know what's going to happen. Hurdle's a fine word. I have another word in mind that I use a lot, and just for whatever reason, right now I'm blanking on it. But so Sloaters is going to farm up, and he's going to try, if he can, to get to 25 supers before Crystal Flashing. Got a little trolled there with the rare missile drop, but he's fine. So now he's exactly at the health he wants to be. He's going to let his reserves run out, and then he is going to Crystal Flash. And then he's going to farm back up to 25 supers and get ready for his Ridley fight. In the meantime, Zenny? All right, bud. Zenny has very low health. I assume from trying to get the spike suit. So anyway, for the moment, I'm going to not pay as much attention to what Zenny's doing. He should be able to survive getting down here to these bugs without issue. Let's take a look at Ridley, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the Ridley fight using the Super Metroid audio once again, since it is by far the most important part of this run. So, bless RNG for Sloaters. Good luck, buddy. Go get him. Unfortunately, Sloaters did not jump high enough to manipulate Ridley's final pogo. If he had been able to turn Ridley around there, he would have most likely survived. Unfortunately, even though he never got directly hit by Ridley, he took, I think, at least 3 shots from the fire and kind of got awkward in an awkward position with his last shot. So Sloaters will unfortunately not be killing Ridley on the first try. And even though he was already at a pretty disadvantageous position relative to where Zenny is right now, that is most likely, anything can happen, but 99.999% of the time, that's probably going to be the game for Zenny in this case. Something just drastically terrible would have to happen for Sloaters to be able to legitimately get back in this race. In the meantime, we got Zenny climbing Main Street, Meridia, suitless. A lot of people's favorite part of RBO, getting to do the fun, cool, suitless strats. He's going to head over to Aqueduct, climb up using a grapple jump, which he is demonstrating already right now. And then he'll fight Botwoon before heading to Dragon. And I would assume, you never know, but I would assume we'll probably see a save from Zenny prior to Dragon. I think it's a nice, sensible place to save in an RBO race. And unless I'm mistaken, I believe, based on the way Zenny was performing in Main Street, I do think, I didn't see him get it, but based on his movement in Main Street, I'm under the impression that he does have the flash shoots stored. So, assuming he gets past Botwoon up here, I think he will be skipping the Botwoon tank and be shine sparking directly to the end of the room. So, let's find out. He's already missed 2 supers, which is very unfortunate. Botwoon's hitbox was trolling him there. And as soon as I said it, he was trying to get back over to the left, but could not. Botwoon. The Botwoon fight is actually highly underrated in terms of danger in an RBO run. Ooh, and then Sloaters just got picked up by Ridley. The RBO in RBO, the Botwoon fight is highly underrated. It can be very dangerous. Botwoon can multi-hit, and on top of that, you just don't have the movement capabilities to get out of the way very good. And so if you're going for fast strats, you're at least going to get hit at least once, many times twice or more. And unfortunately, Zenny just didn't have the health for it. So, and it looks like he's going to reset up here to try to get the flash shoot once again. All right, as you can see, Zenny did accomplish getting the spike suit once more. Sloaters accidentally did not get the correct charge. This is actually like the strat in and of itself in the Metal Pirates room is not actually that hard. But it's another one of those things that's like really easy to mess up. So it's like the strat in and of itself is not super difficult, but it's not like super uncommon to mess up. And it can be a room where you can lose the whole run, especially if you're running without any safeties. Anybody who's watched any of my RBO runs, y'all have all seen me lose many runs in the Metal Pirates room, unfortunately. So, but luckily with the extra energy tank that Sloaters has, it's not as big of a deal. If he did not have his extra energy tank, running those super strats against the Metal Pirates would have been a bigger deal, but here, not as much. Busted. So let's just pretend, since both of our players died, let's just pretend that we're like 5 minutes ago and Sloaters is about to do his second attempt at Ridley and the Shiny Zenny is about to go to Meridia for the first time. So ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to see here is a quintessential part of RBO. Shiny Zenny is going to go to Main Street in Meridia, and that's, one of the sections that people really love about RBO because you get to do it suitless, you get a lot of cool jumps and such. It's really neat. In the meantime, let's see if Sloaters can down Ridley on his second attempt. I could tell, it's hard to explain, but I could tell immediately that the angle that Ridley was taking on that second pogo was going to be a tough one. If you notice, he then pogoed backwards before pogoing forwards for Sloaters to go under him. This time, Sloaters was able to get underneath him and turn him correctly, and Sloaters does have some extra health here. I would be surprised. Oh boy, I spoke way too soon there. Assuming Sloaters had been able to make that jump over Ridley, he would have been able to complete that fight, I think, pretty easy peasy, but commentator curse. Sorry, Sloaty. Yeah, I will take this opportunity to I think, I try my best to provide the best commentary that I can, and I try to be insightful and, hopefully, after some of my commentaries, people feel like they either learned some stuff that they didn't know or maybe just had a different perspective on the run, but I'm gonna try to explain sort of briefly here, maybe the most technical thing that I can explain to you during this run, and, hopefully this will help you guys in terms of your sort of how you interpret Super Metroid and how you watch Super Metroid speedruns. A lot of people that watch any percent world record attempts and a lot of any percent new route and stuff, they're under the impression, I think, your casual viewer, I think, is under the impression that the biggest troll in the game is Fantoon, and everybody hates Fantoon, and Fantoon's such a troll. Ridley is the single biggest troll in this game. Without question, it's not even close. Ridley, essentially, you can sort of manipulate him, but he also sometimes just does whatever he wants to do. So if you run this game long enough and do multiple categories, you will learn that Ridley is absolutely terrible. Like just self-aware and awful to fight against. And it's even further emphasized in categories like this and low percent. So there you go. There's your technical explanation, ladies and gentlemen. Ridley is the biggest troll in this game. I hope you learned something today. Give your energy to Sloaters, everyone. Oh no. Sloaters was just pixels out of position. And unfortunately, he's going to have to try again. 18 Swoop Dragon's pretty terrible, but, that is definitely an individually troll moment without question. But Ridley has a complete mind of his own. And in fact, from a technical level, unless I'm mistaken, I think that Ridley's body and his tail are actually, in terms of the game, two completely separate entities. Like they have their own code and their own AI. So Ridley's tail by itself has its own AI. And apparently, too, Ridley, if you were to look at the code for Ridley, it's like by far the most complex thing in this game. So, yeah, Ridley, I mean, it's why he's a lot of people's favorite boss. He's my favorite boss for sure. But he is a troll. He is the coolest and worst part of this game. Nice job, Peach. I'm proud of you for that one. Apparently, I just cursed Zenny somehow with Dragon. Are we about to get a bunch of swoops or something? Is that what's going on here? No, Zenny's fine. All right, Zenny got the excellent grapple kill, quick kill on Dragon here. Excellently done. That's a lot harder to do with Dragon going from left to right, so that was very impressive. And he is now going to collect his space jump, do a grapple escape out of here, which I think is one of the coolest tricks in this run. I'm a big fan of this next trick. I think it's really neat. And I don't know, when you really just kinda start thinking about, like, what all has to be what all physics and mechanics have to be in the game for you to even be able to pull off an RBO run, it's really fascinating, like, really fascinating. So that trick right there is really neat. In the meantime, we got Sloaters over here getting ready for his Ridley fight. Let's go, Sloaty. I believe. Got him! Let's go, Sloaters. And down goes Ridley. With plenty of health to spare, he's gonna get some drops here, which will help him along the path to collecting what he needs to do as Crystal Flash. He's already got plenty of missiles. He's already got plenty of power bombs, especially when you consider that he's gonna farm 5 on the way out from the Fuzzy Butts. Unless he gets a rare drop, of course, but he's got a very, very high likelihood of getting 5 power bombs at minimum before he gets out of here. So he should be fine on that front. Only thing he needs is supers. So he'll probably get a few supers from some of these bugs on the way out, depending on drops. Started off with a rare missile drop there. But he can also farm the Metal Pirates for supers. So hopefully the game gives him some help here. In the meantime, I need to take a moment to thank our sponsors for this tournament. Sunset Riders, Konami's great game of side-scrolling action shooter. Go back into the Wild West and enjoy getting bounties dead or alive. Sunset Riders. Hey, listen, man. I'm not anti-corporate sponsorship. Whatever you got to do to pay the bills is fine with me. So I am but a deliverer of the information. A humble servant to Speedrunners Arena. Sunset Riders, available today on SNES and Genesis consoles. Sega. All right, let's get back to the race. Got to pay those bills. All right, so we got Shiny Zinni getting ready to fight Fantoon. He has mentioned, oh, thank you to Sassy Zinni dropping the 100 beating hearts into the chat. Thank you for the donation, Sassy Zenny. It's very kind of you. Hope you're doing well. I will say something that Shiny Zenny typically points out when he's on commentary, which is very true. The Fantoon fight, as you can see, just got cleaned up very quickly. I think he got a slow fast there. That fight is significantly easier to 2-round in this category. Not free, but easier than most because you have the plasma beam when you fight Fantoon. And a charge shot of the plasma, ice, and wave combo does 900 damage. So if you think about 2 rounds, that's 1,800 damage worth with 2 charge shots. Fantoon has 2,500 health, so that's 700 more that you need, and you typically get you typically get in 4 per round, 4 missiles. So, you basically have a leeway to miss 1 missile and under normal conditions and still get the 2 rounds. So great job to him. Sloaters has made his way into Meridia and is heading up the Main Street. One thing I would like to say real quick is there is a hidden benefit, in my opinion, of the Spacer Beam being picked up in this category. It's not just about the Ridley fight. I think that, and I think Shiny Zenny would agree, you can definitely do Suitless Meridia without Spacer, but I do think it opens up for some potentially faster strats and whatnot. I don't know what Sloaters is doing right here. I've never seen. Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see right here is something I've never done anything like this myself, but from what I understand, there's this phenomenon on the internet that exists called memeing, and what you just saw was basically